Hey Charlie, today no trotro. Charlie, I've been studying here since 5 p.m. Every morning in Ghana, millions of people wake up to struggle before the day has even begun. Not because they are lazy, not because they don't want to work, but because somewhere along the line, the system stopped working for them.
Parliament adjourned after disagreements between both parties.
People spend hours waiting for transport, hours trying to get to work, hours trying to get back home, and somehow, this has become normal. A country where every conversation becomes partisan, where loyalty to political parties has become stronger than the loyalty to the country itself. And the youth, the very people meant to change the future, have become defenders of the same system failing them. Roads remain unfinished. Contracts are awarded to connections instead of competence. Parliament has become a battleground instead of a place for solutions. And somewhere in all of this, an entire generation is slowly losing faith. So the question is no longer whether Ghana has problems. The real question is, what will finally make the youth choose the country over party? And if they never do, what happens to Ghana next? Today we have an almighty guest in our midst. She's worked as an associate at Imperial College of Mines and Safety. She's worked as a finance officer at Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. She's also a project manager full-time at Entrepreneur Hub, and she's also worked as a business development manager at Flink Hub. She's interned as a marketing staff at eTransact Limited, and she's also worked part-time as a marketing staff at Saham Life Insurance. And very soon she'll be taking her master's program at Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. Wow, what an almighty guest we have on the show today. Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome Madam Sabina Aglago. Madam, welcome.
Thank you, Chris. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you've achieved so much at such a young age. How have you done that?
Since a young age,
Yeah.
I've always been brought up with an entrepreneur mind. So from the teachings of my parents, my family, from my guardians, I have been taught to be independent and entrepreneurial. So it's not that shocking for me to do this much at this age.
So for anyone who aspires to replicate what you've done, what's the blueprint?
Just listen to your parents and have an aspiration. Listen to what they teach you in school. And I think it's somewhat intrinsic.
Yeah.
So it's a desire that was there since infancy. So there's no blueprint. It's from within. You should aspire to be something. And from that, you can create the blueprint yourself.
On this episode, you're going to do a lot of telling the hard truths.
Okay.
My purpose for having you on this show is I believe that you have the capacity to voice out what you want, especially not when it's not really the prettiest thing to say. So to go into the business of today, I'll first talk about Ghana's inability to sustain meaningful contracts in terms of the resources that we have. Over the past 60 years, Ghana has signed contracts in the field of gold, oil, and recently lithium, right? But it seems like the lion's share of our profits always go to the international companies who we partner with. And I feel like maybe it has something to do with our inability to really pay attention to the long-term goal of what we are trying to achieve. I'll give you some examples. So Ghana earns less than 10% of the real value of most of the gold extracted here. In the Jubilee oil fields, Ghana was only given 13.64 carried interest. And in the recent lithium deal with Barari DV, Ghana was given a minority stake. So when you look at all these things, is it as a result of pure incompetence from the leaders?
Okay, Chris, thank you very much for the question. I think this is a critical question that needs to be looked at well. So you mentioned that Ghana earns more than less than 10%.
Yeah.
So according to my research, it's not even 10%, it is 9%.
So less than
Less than 9%. Ghana earns less than 9%
Wow.
when of its natural resources, especially gold, oil. Most of the companies in Ghana, most of the mining companies in Ghana here are vastly owned by foreign companies. Let's take Aglago Ashanti, which is a South African based company, right? Is 90% of it is owned by South Africa. And so when they mine their resources, I mean the gold and everything, they wash it here and pay our chiefs and the workers over here a minimum amount and take the rest of the gold back to South Africa for processing and for export. And Ghana then classify that as an export of gold, and then we put it into our stock exchange that Ghana has exported this amount of gold. But the gold in question, did we even make profits or we make loss? I don't know if you are getting the scenario.
I get it.
Did we make profit or we make loss? And so all this, it's not that the government is not aware of it. Aglago Ashanti has a leader. Aglago Ashanti has an organizational body, and so it's not that they are not aware of all this, but this a situation we find ourselves in because we lack proper structure, leadership structure. People are power drunk. Also, politics are in play. I mean, every organization has a play of politics. So those are some of the factors that contribute to our resource being badly negotiated.
Do you believe that it's as a result of deliberate complicity where one man's gain is at the expense of the nation's loss?
Of course. Like I mentioned, everything has been politicized. And so if NDC is in power, contracts are being awarded to NDC officials. If MPP is in power, contracts are being awarded to MPP officials. And so something that will cause, if MDC is in power, something that will cost about 1 cedi is being priced at 10 cedi, so that the officials of the NDC will profit from it. And so everything is politicized. So yes, people are being selfish for their gains. Yeah.
So seeing as you as a youth and I have very strong opinions about the leadership in our country in both sides of the political atmosphere in Ghana, is it safe to say that the youth are purely partisan and zero nationalists? Because we see the blatant failures of the government, but we decide to still parade ourselves behind them during elections, campaign for them. What is the problem?
Okay, so I will put it out there that I think most of the youth act as if they don't care about it. If they are with the MPP, they are going to tell you that they are not going to vote. So it's purely like they don't care about it. They don't care. So near obebia, and so you now give the authority to the rich. I mean, if you have money, you can buy out some votes from the market women and the youth that need money. So you use your money to buy them. But the youth that care, they are going to tell you that, no, I'm not going to vote because my vote doesn't change anything. So I see the youth as them trying to be non-partisan, although they have an affiliation. They just don't care. What should come, should come.
In your opinion, why do you think we fail to voice out our concerns in terms of how we are being run as a country?
It has come to that point because we find ourselves in a society where people are even scared to voice out the party they belong to. If you belong to the NDC, they are going to, but NDC did this, NDC did that. If you tell them you belong to the MPP did this, MPP did that. So for you to voice out the party you belong to, it has become more like a threat. And I mean, over the past years, we've seen people being killed because they belong to this party and that party. So it's not surprising that the youth are being sacred about the party they belong to. That's why most youth are following Cheddar now. I mean, he has come as an independent candidate and he has the money. And we are in a society where money can buy votes. So if Cheddar has money right now and he wants to buy the youth, I mean, they are going to follow him because he's young. He comes as an independent candidate. We don't belong to NDC. We don't belong to MPP. So the money is there, and they believe Cheddar is going to create jobs. So that's where they are leading. That's where the country is going now, because people are scared to affiliate themselves to these two dominant parties.
Do you believe that we need more independent candidates, or it's a trap for authoritarianism or something?
I don't feel Ghana needs more independent candidates. What we need to do is that we should focus on what we already have, right? There's no difference that Cheddar is going to make, or the other candidates. The guy that belongs to the NPP that is going independent, the butterfly guy, Alan Chemante.
Yeah.
There's no. I mean, he's now with the NDC. Are you aware of
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
Mahama gave him a contract, so he's now with the NDC. I believe that there's no difference these people can make. Whatever you have to do, Alan Chimanti, he had plans, but now he's working with the MPP. So instead of putting power in the hands of an independent candidate who is now going to build a party from scratch, a party without constitution, a party that is subject to reforms without a valid constitution. I mean, we already have the left side of Ghana politics, and we have the right side. So just choose a side. We have the capitalist side, the NPP side, we have the socialist side. So with your long-term goals, if you think the capitalists are better for you, just join them. Put yourself in Krainibeka, we need to form. So put your eye on the floor, study these two parties. There's no need for an independent candidate at this point.
Do you believe that if we go towards the independent route, whoever is going as that independent candidate affiliating with either the left or the right is going to face some political bias internally in the party? You know, there are people in the political parties who want to assume certain roles. So anyone who is going to affiliate as an independent candidate, or the person also has their own ambitions, maybe to become a vice president or something, they are going to meet other people in that same sphere who are aspiring for those same roles. That, I believe, is going to be a problem. So in my view, we should lean towards the independent candidates more, because affiliating with the political parties is going to yield no positive result, quote unquote.
So, Chris, if I get your question right, you think some candidates may have different political plan aside their own party?
No, what I mean is, if I am an independent candidate and I join the NDC, there are people in the NDC who aspire to have the position I am aspiring for as an independent candidate, joining the political party. So I am going to be subject to all the fuss, you know, all the political jargons that are going to be flying around in the party, all this kind of stuff. And I may not like that. So is it wise for me to join a political party if I am running as an independent candidate?
So like I mentioned, no one is partisan. It's either you belong to MPP or you belong to NDCC. So like you mentioned, if you are coming as an independent political candidate, vast majority of your policies, of your framework, leans to one side of the political party. So if vast majority of your political opinions, your political framework leans to the capitalist side, why don't you present this opinion, this framework to the capitalists and tell them that, guys, this and this is what I have, this and this, and that's when people will vote for you. Because it's the same, it's these Ghanaians that are going to vote for you. Those people in the political party, they are going to lead your campaign. So if they support your framework, then they are going to vote for you. If they don't, they can merge it into their framework.
Yeah. So if I'm an independent candidate, I'm looking for power. If I join a political party, I may not have that power because they will also have their candidate. So in that regard, if they take my policies, it's no more in my hands for them to implement. It's in whoever is going to win the elections or whoever they are promoting to be president.
Yes, Chris. There's no wrong in going independent. But what I'm trying to build here is that currently, apart from the new independent candidates that we have, we don't even know the structure of their party. We don't know their framework, their constitution. Every party in Ghana is subject to a framework, a constitution, a leader, a structure. So we have parties like Kojo Bediako or Kwame Bediako. We don't know his structure. We don't know. If you go to the net right now, if you Google NDC constitution, you have it. So here lies it, and we don't know how old the party he's trying to form is. Barely a year or two old. And so if we are going to give that party is not properly formed, right? The party hasn't been metamorphosized. And so if we are going to give the country to be run by this person, how can we trust the fate of a country to that person, a person that has not been tested? So if that person has had any leadership role before and we are able to assess their capabilities, what they have done, I mean, if he had held any ministerial roles before, we have this guy in parliament, this independent guy, A plus.
Yeah.
He's a member of parliament. So if A plus has over the years bring developmental activities to his constituency, someone like John Dumelo, with what he's doing a lot. So if that person decides to go independent in future, do you think Ghanaians will vote for him or not? They are going to vote for him because they've seen him, they've seen where he came from, and they see where he's going. They've seen what he has done in Ayawaso, Ogun district. And so that's what I'm trying to say, that we have the left and the right. I mean, merge yourself to this with these people, give yourself some time, build your party. You just don't stand up like that you are creating a party then that we should vote for you. Take time. It takes time. So yes, we can have independent candidates, but it have to take time for us to get there.
Okay, so your point on the independent candidates is quite clear, but something that may not really fare well with independent candidates because it's purely structure is Ghana's failing transport system.
Okay.
You know, we live in a country where the working class, majority of the working class who travel by public transport day in, day out, have to join endless queues all the time before they can get vehicles and shuttles to work. This is such a fundamental issue that the government in Ghana should be able to fix because it is the backbone of our working class. But till today, we've seen stories upon stories of people standing in queues for hours just to get to work on a busy Monday morning.
Okay.
So my question to you is, we have governance structures in this country responsible for transport. What are they doing, and why have they not been able to address such a pressing issue till today?
Okay, so Chris, before I address your question, with each government that comes to power, they have their budget allocation.
Yeah.
So for NDC, I think their budget allocation was more into industrialization, 24-hour economy, fixing the doomsaw, among others. And with the past government, which is the NPP government, their main focus was year of road. And so if you put it into your budget that this year I'm going to construct road for easy accessibility to and fro for the citizens, and you were not able to do that, I think we have to hold you accountable. And that's part of the reason why they are looking for the finance minister, because all this allocation were placed into the budget for fixing of roads. I mean, that was their main mantra for the NPP government. That was their main mantra, year of road. And till now, we see no accountability. All the funds that were allocated to roads, we see no use of those funds. There have been projects that have had much allocation. I mean, the Pokwase overhead interchange, a lot of money has gone into that project. Until now, we don't know where the money are. So I won't talk much, but what I can plead with the current government is, although they've not made much allocation in their budget to roads and transport, I mean, the much they can do, they should focus on that, because vehicles are in deplorable state because of how bad the road networks are. The transportation is that bad. So yeah, so the government needs to do.
So you made a point that the governments that come into power each and every 4-year term have their own budget allocations.
Yeah.
This makes my point even more resounding, that we need a more radical leader in Ghana, because if transport, which is such a fundamental equipment to Ghana's progress, is suffering such deplorability, then why are we focusing on building roads in other places? We know that Accra and Kumasi are two of Ghana's most busiest cities,
right,
in terms of industrialization. This is where the manpower is. But why should a worker stand in traffic for 2 hours, and the government is focusing on other things rather than fixing the problem of transport, making shuttles easily accessible, and putting the GPRTU in check in terms of their pricing, and sometimes they churn out certain schemes to charge more from the people. That is why you see people standing in queues for about 2 hours on a busy Monday, Tuesday morning. So my point is that we need someone who is more radical in his approach to governance, that we are able to tackle the most fundamental parts of the issues in Ghana. And I think the transport is one of them. So instead of tackling roads, we should rather tackle the transport issue in Ghana, even though the roads is important. So why are we not looking at this in particular? Is it that we've not caught on with what's going on?
Okay, Chris. So I don't think the government have diverted its attention from road transport.
Yeah.
I mean, just recently, for the Pokwasi interchange, Mahama completed a project. I don't know if you are updated with the news. Mahama just completed a road project at the Amasama in Pokwasi road recently. And so with the radicalization, we need a leader that is radicalized. I mean, the government in power is focused on road. That's why within 11 months of its tenure, its inception, the Amasama in Pokwasi road, it's already halfway done.
So my problem is not in these environs of Accra, but in Accra itself.
Okay.
Why are we waiting for 2 hours to get a car to work?
I think it's the people we elect in power. Sometimes I feel like,
why have they turned a blind eye to this?
I don't think they've turned a blind, because they use the road. Yes.
No, these people in power don't pick trotro on a Monday morning.
Or by
they have their convoys. And
yes,
the
they
problem
use the same
is
road.
not about the condition of the road.
Okay.
It's about the stations, our trotro stations, how they are managed and operated, who is in power over there, how the structures are. I don't think there's any trotro station in Ghana that has such a regimented routine that if any car leaves the station in 2 to 3 minutes, there should be another car there. Okay. I don't think there's any system in play like that. Mm-hmm. That is my concern. I'm not really concerned about the condition of the road.
Okay.
I'm concerned about how the workforce is going to be able to get to work and be effective. You can't expect me to get to work at 10 a.m. after standing in traffic or a long queue for 2 hours and still be nearly as effective as I would be if I got to work at 8 a.m.
Yes, Chris, I agree with everything that you've said.
Yeah.
I think I also take public transport on my way to work. So I agree with what you say. There should be a system that is, the system needs to be fixed. Roads and transport need to be fixed.
Yeah.
Because if the roads are fixed, transport will be easily accessible. I mean, it goes hand in hand. So I agree with you. And I don't agree with your statement, or I don't know if I got you clearly.
Yeah.
I think the government is fully aware of it. Because if the government is not fully aware of it, there won't be a policy or a year that the presidential candidates will come out that this is the year of transportation. I mean, roads and highway, fixing roads and highway. I think they are fully aware of it. But what I believe is that more attention should be given to that part, just as you've mentioned.
Yeah.
More attention should be given to that part. So I think I agree with what you said. Yeah.
Okay, so I think henceforth, if you also have anything that you want to let on board, you can just put it in the comment section. It's important that we draw attention to this particular issue because it's the worst thing that could happen to any country, to lose its effectiveness in terms of the workforce getting to work to put the country in a better position. So I'd like us to also talk about something else that, in my opinion, is not really helping. You know, both the citizens and the leaders are involved in destroying public monuments. When you go across Accra and other cities in Ghana, you'd find that during the election years, our political parties, especially the presidential candidates and then the MPs, they print so many posters, and color the entire community.
Yeah.
Sometimes on highways you see flyovers with posters from top to bottom.
Yeah.
From the entire length of the bridge to the other side is covered in posters. After the elections, no one is held accountable to come and take these off. And we've seen videos where it's been a year and counting since December 7th elections in 2024. And we still have flyers of presidential candidates in town. Why are we destroying the beauty and the sanity of our country when we know that it's one of the key parts in attracting foreign investment into the country?
Chris, I think the system is weak, right? The system we have in place is very weak because doing damage to a social amenity or a governmental property should be punishable by law. If a policeman is walking by and you are putting a flyer on the wall, in other countries it should be punishable by the law. But because the system is not working, a policeman can't hold you accountable for making damage to a public property. So I think the system is weak. I mean, we see, talking about sanitation, let me just chip in the sanitation issue. If you see some public amenity, I mean public places, and someone is defecating, someone is urinating, causing a whole lot of rampage, I mean destroying, and sometimes the people that are put in place to monetize this thing, these behaviors, can't do anything about it because nothing can be done. So why are you arresting the person? Oh, he's urinating. Come on. Oh, I mean, a whole lot of excuses. So I think the system is weak. The system has no law even if they had law.
We have no jurisdiction over that.
I mean, maybe they have law in place, but the law is not effective. In Ghana, you can't. I mean, if as a policeman
you can't punish someone
for it's going to be seen. I mean, the person can, even the policeman just they are going to. So I really think the system is not working.
Has it become culture?
I mean, yes, it has become a culture. It has become a behavior of Ghanaians. Thank you. It has become a behavior of Ghanaians. If they do it, I mean,
the reason why some Ghanaians are obsessed with the Western countries, part of it is because of how the facade of the country looks. The beauty of the country counts. It's why some countries have high records of tourism, because they've been able to utilize the beauty of the country to the maximum. But in Ghana, it looks like our leaders have turned a blind eye to that. Is it because we don't see it as a potential income stream that we can make sure that our country looks beautiful and attractive enough to get people coming here?
Chris, I don't think it's necessarily our leaders. It's us ourselves, because
the posters are placed there by the leaders.
No, but I mean, if we are able to change our behavior, our character, you are not supposed to defecate here.
Yeah.
So why are you doing it and you are waiting for a lead to be punished by a leader, right? Even if the leader didn't put that system in place, should you do it? Don't you have a moral conscience that whilst you are causing damage to a public property, or you are causing disinfection, I mean, all those things, all those rubbish and things you are pointing, don't you have a conscience that it may cause illness or it's not nice? You should know what you are doing. So I think we as Ghanaians have to start changing our mind and start recycling ourselves.
Yeah, and recycling ourselves has to start with the leaders in power.
I disagree. It doesn't have to start with the leader. We vote for the leader. So if we if we psych our mind that if we know what we are doing, I don't think we should blame our leaders. If we know what we are doing, right? If we know what we are doing, we don't have to blame our leaders. Yeah. You eat finish and you put the rubbish on the floor and you're blaming your leader that the environment is dirty. Meanwhile, you know what to do. There's nothing wrong with you, Chris, joining the bus stop boys to go and clean Shashi or clean Lagos. There's nothing wrong with it. But yet you are waiting for sanitation minister, you are waiting for the leader, you are waiting for Mahama to come and organize a labor day, a sanitation day before you get there clean. So I think when we start changing ourselves, stop putting rubbish anywhere. Yes, we can change it. Then we'll vote for a leader to the system.
There's a concern that has been raised that Ghana's parliament is not acting in the interest of the country, but actually for political purposes. So we've seen before in 2025, before the 2026 budget statements was read, we saw what happened in Ghana's parliament. Basically, the MPP, let me not give them by names, but one side of the house boycotting the process because they don't really agree with what the other side is doing. I'm starting to believe that the Parliament House in Ghana has become a ground where we do not take into consideration the actual policies that help the Ghanaian people, but rather political interests. I'll explain. So, the MPP are in opposition now. The NDC are in power.
Yeah.
It looks like the opposition party is doing everything that it can to frustrate the ruling party.
Of course they have
because they do not want the ruling party to do anything meaningful the time they have, so that in terms of elections they can say, oh, this political party didn't do anything. That seems to me to be a biased partisan movement, not a nationalist movement.
Okay.
So is our Parliament House starting to look more of a political bargaining chip for our parties?
Yes, it has and has always been. I mean, the government in power has superiority in Parliament, and so any act or any legislation or anything they are going to put on the floor is going to be approved. And on the minority side, there is high chances of anything they put out there being debunked by the minority. It has always been like that. That's why according to my research, 1 out of every 4 parliamentarians miss their sittings. So here's a situation that we don't have serious people in parliament. So anything the government wants to put in place right now is with the benefits is
mainly to benefit the political parties.
The political party the ruling
government.
Exactly. So it has always been like that.
Then do we need a change in Parliament? Because this, to me, seems to be a dangerous thing that we are doing in Parliament. Because if your leaders are not really fighting for the interest of the people, but rather the interest of the parties and their sponsors, then it looks like we are doomed to move forward.
No, Chris. We vote the leaders, the people in Parliament. We are the ones that vote them into Parliament. So if NDC is the majority in Parliament, it means the people of Ghana voted them to represent us in Parliament. And so whatever they do in Parliament is for the benefit of the citizen. So every majority stake in Parliament should be for the benefit of the people, unless otherwise.
So my concern is mainly with the mindsets of people we've placed in Parliament.
Okay.
If I'm in opposition and my job is to frustrate any act that in my knowledge is going to help the Ghanaian public, mainly because I'm in opposition, and I think that's a flawed mentality to have as a parliamentarian in Ghana. So that's my point, that the people who are there are not there for the interest of the people in its full clarity. They go there to go through the parliamentary proceedings just to satisfy the glare of the public, but not really to serve the nationalist ideas that they are supposed to be serving.
Okay, so Chris, can you give me just one scenario where the interests of the parliamentarian are placed above?
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
So few weeks ago in Boko, there was a conflict. I don't know if it's still going on, but the conflict in Boko, the minority was proposing that the issue be solved before they can move on with the business of the day. And the speakers on duty that day did not really agree with it because they emphasized that they had business to take care of. Because of that, the minority boycotted parliamentary proceedings that day. My question is, if we have one problem we have to solve, it doesn't take away from the fact that there are other things that have to be taken care of.
Okay.
Because of that, it gives an impression that you're not there mainly for the interest of everything that has to be done, but for one specific interest, whether it's in your interest or for the interest of the people you're serving. It doesn't take away from the fact that there's other business to be attended to. That is why I believe that some of the people there are not there in the interest of the public. They are there for the sole interest of the political party and the masters they serve in Parliament.
Okay, so with the conflict in question we are talking about here, this conflict has been tackled for the past 1 month.
Yeah.
To the extent that even Otunfo and Mahama had to sit down with some chiefs, invite them on board, but some chiefs were in presence and some chiefs weren't in presence. And so if it comes to a parliamentary sitting and the the guy in charge of parliament, what is he
Yeah.
called? The guy,
Honorable Alban Babin.
and he's telling you that there are other proceedings on
Yeah.
board. We need to attend to them, because this issue has been in session for about 1 month, and we have the president and we have other high chiefs attending to this situation.
Yeah.
So it's not as if they are letting go of the situation. They are still tackling the situation, but because the opposition want to hinder the real agenda on board, they are diverting their attention to other matters. Meanwhile, we have an agenda on board. We have something we need to attend to, notwithstanding the fact that that conflict has been in session even before last week.
Yeah.
There have been meetings to resolve this conflict. So with your question, I mean, there is an agenda on board. We need to focus on that, and after we are done, we will focus on what we need to focus on.
So you agree that they have to solve the first problem on hand before they focus on other things?
Parliamentary has a preceding,
Yeah.
right? Has an agenda. If that is not fixed, why should we divert our attention to other matters that are not on the agenda?
Okay, so we have a lot of issues to take care of.
Mm-hmm.
If we've not solved one, doesn't mean we can't solve the others.
And that's what I'm telling you, that this conflict resolution issue has been in section for about a month now.
It doesn't take away from the fact that you have to block the proceedings of other
So
issues too.
so when we are done with what we can do, then we'll get to that. If there is time, we'll get to that. We are not withstanding the fact that that could be spoken about.
Yeah.
But when we are done with what we need to do, then we tackle that. And that has to be on the agenda. If it's not, Parliament doesn't work that way. That we need to focus on this, we need to focus on that, because someone just suggests you like me, you raise your concern, then Parliament will take into action. Then we put it on the agenda that this date and this date we'll focus on this, on that. And so if you decide to stage a walkout because your opinion is not being attended to, then I mean you are on the wrong side. The door is there for you. Feel free.
So it's become a norm that every government that comes into power, regardless of the political party, they award contracts to people that sponsored their campaign.
Mm-hmm.
Is it safe to say that Ghana's politics has become more of a business than a nationalist agenda?
Yes. Chris, so before presidents become successful, I mean, where do they get all this money from to fund their campaign? We have investors. So I mean, if you want to become a president, you have to call for investors that fund me. If I come into power, you are going to be my deputy speaker, you are going to be my this and this and that. And so I don't think it's something wrong. I don't think it's a wrong thing. If you have the money to fund, and if they come into power, you also benefit, because these people make lots of losses within this campaign period. How do you think they fund their campaigns?
So I have a lot of issues with the things that have gone on over the past year, because the reason I raised this topic is we've seen issues with the MPP Ashanti Regional Chairman being involved in a scandal that he mined in some forest reserves. Yes, exactly. And the National Patriotic Party and their leaders came to his defense, so aggressively when the issues popped up. And it's starting to look like the whole issue was mainly because he's such a massive donor to the party. Yeah. So are we beginning to shield people that we are awarding contracts to, even though we know that, one, they are incompetent to do the job, and two, because they are in a political party and we need to save them? Okay,
so with that situation, even for the people in the party, they know what their Ashanti regional minister did is wrong. So it's not more of they are shielding him. He will face the consequences, and he has already faced some of the consequences. So I believe it's more of a party interest to help him out. They can't leave him bare hanging. So they are not putting him above or below. I mean, they are trying to support him. So that's where I come from.
I think that sets a very bad precedent for whoever is watching what's going on today in terms of the next generation of leaders. Because if we are seeing that wrongdoing is
Chris, the issue here, he's facing the consequences of his action. He has been to prison. Wuntumi has been to prison.
So, notwithstanding the support he's getting, there are people who are claiming that he's innocent. when a lot of us know that he is guilty.
That's why there is trial of tribunal. That's why he's been to court and he has been adjourned guilty, and
Yeah.
he's going to face the consequences, right? Yeah. So he's not being left to go scot-free because he's an MPP chairman. He's going to face the law, and probably in the next few years he's going to be hidden from politics. That's what I think. He's going to hide out from politics, knowing how his lining has been watched in public. He's going to withdraw from politics in the upcoming years.
When we all know he's such a massive donor to the NPP.
Yes, he's going to withdraw. I mean, how visible he is. Won't to me here, won't to me. Won't to me can go to radio stations and be insulting people because, I mean, when his image wasn't out there about those galamsey issues, I mean, he goes to Ryan. Do you see him around? No. So he's withdrawing bit by bit. That doesn't withstand the fact that he's going to donate. He's still going to be a like he's going to secure, but he's going to be backdoor. It's going to be a backdoor something.
Do you believe Ghana's democracy is for the people and not for the political parties?
Yeah, it's for the people, because the people elect whoever they want to elect to power. So if whatever the NDC is doing right now, sometimes I don't even, if MPP is in power and they are mismanaging resources, or NDC is in power and they are, I don't blame the leaders. We vote them into power. That's
we vote
democracy.
them in power not to go and squander resources.
But what were you thinking in the first place?
We vote. The reason why we vote is to elect people that we deem capable of serving the interests of the country. But we've seen it time and again that our leaders get there and then they start serving their own agenda. So it doesn't necessarily mean that we voted them into power to go and do that.
That's why we have precedents. So you have Mahama coming as president and during his tenure he did this and that, and you have Akufo-Addo coming to president. You know the MPP, you know what they stand for, you know NDC, you know what they stand for. That's why I always say that sit down yourself, analyze this, listen to both sides of the coin, go deep within down yourself and choose the best candidate. And so if I, with the president's MPP have, if I vote for them, this is what I expect. MPP, NDC, excuse me, I expect them to give me doomsor.
Yeah.
I know that's what they stand for. MPP, I know them to give me corruption. So we vote them. So what were you expecting?
Do you think it's high time that we incorporated a more stringent form of law enforcement in terms of our authorities and our leaders? Because we've seen cases in recent times where in the past government there are leaders who mishandled Ghana's finances and until now they've not been prosecuted yet. So do you believe there's something to be done in terms of strengthening the legal system in Ghana?
I believe so, Chris. The constitution needs a reform. I think the legal system needs need advancement and refurbishment. There should be a way to punish our leaders. I mean, there should be a way to hold them responsible for whatever they do in parliament when it comes to mismanaging our resources, their code of conduct. I think in the first 120 days of Mahama's presidency, he came out with a code of conduct for parliamentarians, what they should do and what they shouldn't do as parliamentarians. And I think that is on the right path for to stabilize the behaviors of parliamentarians. And not just that, I think there should be rules and laws in place as to how they manage our resources, among others.
So finally, I'd like to ask your opinion on this. In a country plagued with bad contracts, failing systems, bad hospitals, bad roads, political scandals here and there, what do you think the next generation of leaders must look like to attain the goals that the country has set to achieve?
I think the next set of generational leaders should be leaders that are nationalists, notwithstanding the fact that they are capitalists, right? They should focus on industrialization. I think Kwame Bediagun has visions about, I mean, he's a good leader, just that we don't trust him. I mean, we need a leader like him that's more focused on industrialization, focus on youth employment, empowering the youth, not old leaders that are focused on things that are not necessary
Yeah.
among others. Yeah.
So you believe that Kwame Bediako could be a good presidential
he
candidate
he can be a good president, but he's not to be trusted. He doesn't have the track record.
record? Yeah.
Yes,
So should we look out for someone like you, the current president someday?
probably anything can happen.
Wow.
So
Would you be
let's
interested
see.
in that?
In becoming a president,
Yeah.
I mean, I could be the next Kamala, but just that no, in a right way, not
Yeah.
her way. I mean, so yeah.
I think this episode has been quite interesting. I want the main takeaway from this particular episode to be that as youth of this country, we have a right to demand accountability. We need to be focused on what we need to achieve as a country. We also need to recalibrate our minds into seeing Ghana's politics as more as a national agenda, more than supporting one political party and pushing certain political individuals. Other than that, I think this episode has been great. We are blessed to have our lady in the panelist chair. You've been amazing. I mean,
Thank you, Chris.
yeah, you've been wonderful. We've had such amazing insight from you.
you.
Most of them not what I expected, but all in all, I think we've done great for this episode.
Thank you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this is where we draw the curtains on this episode. We thank you for paying attention. We thank you for watching. I need you to drop your comments in the comment section. Let us know what your problems are, what you think the country should solve. And we all want the best for this country.